Somehow I think I was born to be a beach runner. It doesn't matter if I haven't run for weeks, I can take my shoes off and just run down a beach for kilometers. I'm Claire McFarlane and I'm campaigning to end sexual violence through sport and travel. I decided to run 16 kilometers of beach in every single country of the world.
Guatemala, Vietnam, Japan, Uganda, Switzerland, Taiwan.
Because it represents my own story. I'm a rape survivor. So from the day I was raped to when there was a final end to the justice process, that was 16 years. And it's just my way of having a small symbolic connection to what I'm doing. It all happened quite a long time ago when I was living in Paris as a foreign student. I faced a lot of victim blaming, a lot of judgment. I remember the first question that I was asked in the emergency room in the hospital was, what had I done to cause this? So I knew then that I had to brace myself and somehow I had to dig really deep and not let what came next destroy me in some way. The police had never caught the man back then, and I just plunged into a very, very, very busy life. I did some extraordinary things in those 10 years. I got to live in multiple countries, I became a dive master, I did a number of degrees at university. But quite literally, 10 years later after the attack, 2 weeks actually before the anniversary, my whole life changed. They had caught the man. I was living in Switzerland, in Geneva, so I could actually get to Paris in time to do a lineup and ID him, and it was him. I couldn't believe that after 10 years, I had remembered this man so clearly. And what I was then plunged into was the justice system in France. And that's when my life just fell apart. So for the next 6 years of my life, I faced my story day after day after day, and I had to relive that trauma over and over again. The most incredible thing happened by doing that is that I had the opportunity to heal and build myself back up and become a very different person than what I was when I was raped 10 years prior. And I just felt this sudden urge to start running. I've never been a runner. During this criminal process, this call to run transformed my life. It really was a huge part of my personal healing from what had happened to me. And if I just threw on my running clothes and ran home after work, I had a whole new perspective on my life again and what was happening. And I felt this very strong need to speak out. And when I spoke out, the most extraordinary thing happened. All of these other survivors from around the world, women, men, children, all began to write to me and share their own stories. And that's when I knew I had to do something.
So we are now walking in honor of the ladies that have lost their lives.
I had this sort of light bulb moment where I thought, that's what I can do. I can use running as a way of opening up a dialogue around sexual violence, because it's such a difficult subject to talk about. It makes people so uncomfortable. But running unites us, sport unites us, and it's just such an effective way of talking about a cause and talking about something that could really ultimately bring about some social change. I decided to run in every country of the world. I don't just run in a country. I go in, I connect with as many people as possible, whoever really wants to talk with me with regards to the issue of sexual violence. And of course, I connect with sporting and running groups in each country to invite people to run with me. And I guess that has been the biggest one for me to see, is that a lot of men running with me, which is fantastic because sexual violence isn't just a woman's issue. We can create change together. So that kind of leads me up to 230 countries. I wanted to achieve and run all of this within 2 years, but I realized very quickly as I began that I had to change that because I was making such an impact as I was heading into countries. Well, there's one country that really stands out for me, and I am very keen to go back to it. That is Tanzania. There was a group of women and young people that traveled 200 kilometers on the day to come and join me for the run at the beach. One of the ladies was 60 years old. She wasn't wearing a bra. She'd never run before, and she ran the entire 16 kilometers with me, which is just absolutely extraordinary. And there was this one moment that was just complete pure magic, is that as we were running along, the ladies broke out into song and sang for most of the way. It was just super extraordinary. Travel has taught me so much. I can't even imagine having lived my life now, having not traveled, and I certainly see myself as a traveler for the rest of my life. I have learnt compassion and empathy. I've learned to see and recognize that we as humans are very similar no matter where we are in the world. We've got these fundamental connectors that bring us together.